living in Healdsburg for about, I guess, 3 months, and we threw my daughter's first birthday party. And that day it was very, very hot and dry. It had very little rain. And I remember going to sleep and just noticing how windy it was, but I didn't think really twice about it. It just was a regular night. Um, and then I woke up the next morning to my phone full of text being like, "Are you okay? Are you alive? Please respond." Uh, Totally clueless, but we had no internet, we had no TV, uh, and it was kind of like a twilight zone. It's like you go to sleep to one reality and you wake up to a different one. And what was happening when I fell asleep was the Tubbs fire, which I'm north of it. It was in Santa Rosa, but it took 24 lives and burned over 5,000 structures within just a matter of hours. There were no warnings, there were no phone alerts, there was very little response because not only was the infrastructure not quite there, but it was a firestorm. So the winds were so fast. It was like a force of God. Like there's just nothing that could have been done to mitigate that much damage. So I started picking up the pieces. School was canceled, ended up being for 3 weeks. We lived in a constant state of terror that it would spread. We were afraid to go outside. We had young kids, and the air was so toxic that we were essentially just trapped inside. It even felt like it was hurting your lungs and giving you a headache inside with air purifiers running. And you know, it just the sky was just orange and dark, and I felt so helpless. So I think just fast forwarding in my private practice in the community where I work with people, I was seeing the effect this had, um, just not only the devastation and the loss and the grief, but that was the first fire. Then in 2018, we had the Camp Fire, which didn't affect us. We weren't in any acute danger, but we couldn't go outside for 2 weeks. The air quality was so horrible. And then obviously the horrific loss of, over 80 people in Paradise. 6 months into it, I got together with our local healthcare foundation, and we're looking at some major community trauma, and we need resources in place, or you're going to start seeing, domestic violence, child neglect. You're going to see substance abuse. Like there's a whole sequela of issues that come after a disaster if you don't address the mental health challenges that come with losing everything. But I think going back to the story part of it, what took the wind out of my sails is, we were doing our data collection, like a follow-up of, did this intervention help? People find it acceptable? And all of our data collection was disrupted because they turned the power out for off and on for about 3 weeks. And then the Kincaid fire broke out, and all of my county, it's 180,000 people, had to leave. And we were told that we should expect our homes to not be there. We were fortunate in that the wind shifted at the very last minute and we were saved, but many people didn't have it that lucky. And then the year after that, the wildfire season started in August. And, I live in an agricultural community where we harvest grapes for wine. Pretty much all the crops were destroyed through smoke taint. So I saw these economic losses translating into just catastrophic emotional consequences for these farmers who'd gone through 3 years in a row of this. And people just feeling like this is what we can expect. This is our new normal. So the last 2 years have been better, but I think I live in a state of just wait till the other shoe drops. And that's kind of where I am now, just helping to raise awareness about the intersection of mental health and climate change, and not how to not let ourselves get swept up in the doom and gloom, but just finding hope, seeing the helpers, focusing on small wins, and taking what we know from psychological science to contribute to the fight.